All right, good evening, guys. Kenneth Tortoise Capital Nightly Strategy Podcast for September 12th, 2024. Start with a sniper trade. This is EWW. 10 minutes. Yesterday's close. Nice and consolidated. This is the opening and the OR10. It took almost a full hour for that OR10 to break out, which it did here. So we're gonna head that way. Now, this is the case where the from the entry down to the standard risk box, which is an R10, which is I'm sorry, an R5, excuse me, which is 2 times the R5. Sorry, 2 times the R10. Get my stuff together here. That means that there's 5 more moves of that potential size to the upside for a range stat move. And it's almost exactly the size that you would pick if you were triggering off of the PSAR flip. So it's kind of a natural technical stop. It's about 30 cents in EWW. Moves up normally, holds at the edge of the river, kicks me out at the PSAR. For about as orderly a 4-hour trade as you could ever want to see, there was probably a second entry. So if this is the 2-hour battle drill, really anywhere in this region, there was probably a legitimate second entry. This little extra breakout right here probably should have triggered me for a second. Almost got lulled to sleep by that one. Now its running buddy in the world is EWZ. This is also a 10-minute chart. And here's yesterday's sideways choppy close. And it gaps down to here. And here's your OR10. And the next bar triggers to the upside. So I'm thinking about that as a breakout. And if it gets above this tip of the PSAR, then I'm really happy. But it top ticked me, and so it gives me a 1-hour loss immediately. So I stop and reverse. I don't wait for it to break below the 10. I just take it short. It reverses and crosses the VWAP, so I get scared out of that position for a minus 0.2. So now I'm into this thing -1 and minus 0.2. When this rolls over and breaks through the VWAP again, I just re-enter it at the same level, and I just regret that I got ticked out, but it's going to happen. What I'm really doing with that exit is protecting against the sharp move, and I don't want to take a full 1-hour loss again. So that's why I take the 0.2. So I get short again. This one gives me just about 1R. I wait for that R10 to roll over, take the skin of the dragon. So that's about +1. So now I'm down a fraction for the day. Carries on through the PSAR. I enter. Standard risk. Comes back and I get a 0.2. So now I'm flat for the day. Done a lot of work and nothing to show for it. It breaks out as an emerging dragon, so I take that again with a standard wrist box. Starts decaying. I take the skin of the dragon. I get about a 0.1. It then breaks above, so I re-enter, just feeling like an idiot. It gives me a 0.2, and I say, you know what? That's just enough of this crap for the day. I should have spent the time in retrospect adding second positions to what was clearly working, which was EWW, but I get fixated on this one. And like a dog with a bone he can't quite get, I couldn't let it go. So there we are. This one is was monkeying around with the S&P on the 30-minute bar. So these are all, this is the 5-day look back here. So this is day -1, 2, -3, -4. So that's a 5 days. And that was how yesterday closed, really strong. So the blue box is the OR30. I tried the breakout there. The risk box on the S&P is slightly less than the OR30, but I accept that risk. It holds along the VWAP. It moves up to a new 5-day high, then sharply moves against me back to the skin of the dragon. So I end up getting about a 0.2 or a 0.3. I'm just trying to preserve a little bit here. So I get a small victory. And then it immediately reverses, but there's not enough time in the day for me to respond to that. So this one looks like it should have been better. I was over 1R at one point, and I was just slow to react on the on this big spike bar down right there. That one caught me by surprise. That's about a 0.3. This is what that looked like on a 10-minute bar. Excuse me. You know, your OR10 was around in here, probably gets an entry somewhere in there. That's your stop. There's the nice run up. And then that was the spike bar that came all the way down to the VWAP and then all the way back up. So I ended up getting out around here on the 30-minute trade. And then they caught me sleeping. All right, that's it for today. We'll look at the traders. This is Hamad. He got chopped around quite a bit in EWZ, and I understand that one. Although he did get that move, he missed his re-entry, which would have, I think, made his day, or in that trade, positive. He did get the second leg up for a piece. He tried that same short I did, got hurt. He re-entered about like I did, but made bank on his. Re-entered, which erased that. So this was just timed and choppy enough uh, to erase most of our gains today. EWW, on the other hand, he does a really nice job and pulls in 3R on a OR 10 breakout. And he takes this one at the skin of the dragon. He was eating dinner and missed this little recovery retracement, which would have added another 1, possibly 2 on the day. He got chopped around a lot in DIA and then was late to the party after this thing consolidated in the afternoon. And then there was a last minute run up. He was kind of late getting in on that one, but he did make a little bank. This one is Jonathan. Let's see what we got here. Span of control ended up missing the breakdown of this initial noise in the opening. This is the Dow Mini. Misses 2 shots at that thing. chases it in time to lose half, re-enters, gains a little bit back. I think was late getting back into this. He waits for the emerging dragon rather than crossing of the Bollinger Band main and gets chopped, and then was out of resilience, and wasn't able to get that one. This was an issue today a couple times, missing the chase, and say I can't, I don't want to chase it, and then waiting to see a really good move and then saying, oh man, I got to get in just as the move runs out. I think it's better off. You see it and it's out of the consolidation, it's moving. Go ahead, put it on with half a position size and keep the original stop that would have been up here. So since you have twice as large of a risk box, put on half the position. And we'll see that was also the case here in EWW, that he was watching YM and then didn't get this one. So we've got to have that one framed to break out from this box. We should be on that with an alert. Let the alert be audio, and so it dings you. And now in this region where it's sideways choppy and then breaks out, even though you feel like that's late, remember there's 10 times the size of this box to the upside that's available. So getting in here is not missing most of the move. And if you look at this thing, that was still a heck of a move. This ended up being about just short of a range stat move for the day. So rehearse what to do when you don't get the alert and you see it moving and there's still plenty of range stat move to the upside. Hold your nose and get it. In this case, waiting for the you're getting the second move, and there's no follow through. So I think you're better off rehearsing what to do here, taking it quickly, keep the original stop in place, use half the position size because it's already left the station. That way you're not kind of frozen watching it pull away from you and feeling worse and worse about it. You just avoid the negative energy that way. All right, we'll take a look at the daily report now. All right, the 150-day look back. We're right here. Oops, let me make that blue. We're way up here, so we only have this little distance back to the all-time high. And any breakout above 566 is long gone. That's the market responding favorably to Kamala Harris's great performance in the debate, I believe. And stars are in alignment for. So still a nice move. Now, to be fair, we're entering a period of significant resistance, but this is the third time knocking at that level. And if it breaks out, the upside is there. Tomorrow should be fireworks. That's a fireworks pattern right there. The 30-day look back, we're well above the 10-period VWAP, the 3-period VWAP, the 5-period VWAP, the 30-period VWAP. So this is really pulling away from all the fair values. This is a sign of aggressive confidence and a very strong finish. And again, it doesn't take much for this to break above 565, and then there's no resistance overhead. So I'll be ready for that kind of positive move. If they can put that kind of move in tomorrow, and then that will set up a very strong narrative of confidence in the market over the weekend. And then I'd expect more fireworks Monday morning. That's the most likely scenario I see for tomorrow. Some good technical trading. This is the 30-minute, was pretty much strong all day, except for that one spike that ticked me out. Rascals. Bullish normal conditions, overbought across the board, volatility favorable for the long side. We are in a risk on position. And when you're overbought in a risk on position, that's actually a sign of strength. All of the buy on dip signals that we had earlier in the week, that both of those mechanical systems paid off very well. Big strong move in IBM, Microsoft, Verizon, and Walmart today. Still plenty of good symbols that test out well on the auto framer. In the ETFs, a half a dozen of auto framers still valid. Big moves today in Asia less Japan, gold, U.S. real estate, and discretionary. So it's not tech leadership leading the way. This is the rest of the market following through. An enormous number of auto framers that test out well. So this is really a buyer's market. You're going to see a lot of tech and energy names in there, as well as a few broad symbols of indexes like Brazil, energy, oil exploration. Your finance and materials are all still above 2.0. So there's a lot of opportunities for the market to have more recovery. So this little bounce is not done by any means yet. A handful of good squeezes. Chevron, Goldman, Intel is especially interesting to me. It's 4-1 on the risk reward and a 2-1 on the squeeze. So I like that a lot. And this is the TC 2000 framework for that auto framer. Still dominated by the fall, a healthy percentage in the summer, few laggards in the winter. Broad-based upside across the board today with very few exceptions. Treasuries and Procter, the only things really in the red for the last 2 days. But these the greens across the board are areas where there's real strength. Consumer discretionary, real estate, S&P and the Dow. This is a healthy market. It's resolving its tension and voting to the upside. Top 10 frog trading value, guys. There's marijuana, Nvidia, Tesla, Intel, clean energy, the usual suspects. So they continue to be worthwhile to stock during the day. All right, that's everything for today. We'll get this published and posted, and we're going to be ready for tactical trading tomorrow, and ready to get on it if it breaks to the upside, for short burst upside trading and making bank early in the day. All right, take good care, and we'll catch you tomorrow.